Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and some people are going to comment that I have a lot of energy, and they're going to ask, is Jason high? No, I'm not high. I would know if I took any drugs before filming these videos, and I didn't take any drugs that would make me high. See how I said that? No, I just happened to be in a good mood today, had a great workout, had a good talk with my sister, and it's busy. It's actually Sunday night, and I'm trying to just get these videos filmed and knocked out while my mood is still good. So, that being said, let's finish up the next to the last one. How long did it take you, well, I hope you don't mean me because my answer is going to be different than for you, to build up the stamina to do consistent full body workouts? I didn't, because I started as a distance runner. I was really fat right after I got out of high school. I gained a bunch of weight, like 80 pounds in 6 months, due to my horrific eating practices and massive overeating. I took up distance running to get into shape and lost 100 pounds. I went from distance running to lifting weights. I didn't have any issues squatting high volume every day. It just was not a problem. I just jumped right in and started training. It was no issue doing full body immediately for me. Now for you, it might be. And so the thing is, particularly people who come from splits and they're switching over to full body, yeah, you're going to have to scale all your weights back a little bit for a couple weeks. You're not going to be able to handle the same weights that you handled on your splits for your first exercise at first. So you'll need to scale back the weights and volume and then build up the weight gradually, or if you're going to use heavier weights, you're going to need to scale up the sets and volumes gradually. It's going to take you a few weeks. It might take you 4 or 5 weeks to get all that back. Some people it takes 1 week. So it's going to depend on the person. But you will eventually regain that, and you'll get to a point to where you can handle, with time, as you build work capacity. And remember, building work capacity builds size and strength. But as you build that work capacity over time, you will get very good at doing large amounts of workload for your entire body in a single session if you just train for it. Your body adapts to whatever you train it to. And if you haven't trained for that, of course, full body is going to feel terrible for a couple weeks, and you're going to feel so weak and fatigued, and all your weights are going to go down. But once you adapt to it, and you will adapt to it given enough food and sleep, it won't be a problem anymore. And like I said, it could take 1 week, it could take 5 weeks. Just depends on the person, your lifestyle, your genetics, how you've trained before. So just run with it if you want to try it. All right, next question. Losing tightness at the bottom of the squat and having butt round under. I'm already descending with a full belly of air, contracting my abs. Will descending slower help this? As right now I just dropped straight into the hole. I kind of like the fast descent. I think you get a better stretch reflex. But that aside, no, it's more of a mobility and flexibility issue. Now, some people will never be able to squat ultra deep, a full squat or ass to grass, as we call it, without some lower lumbar rounding. And if you're worried about it, then don't squat that deep. For most people, there's no reason to go below parallel. You probably don't need to for your sport. You don't need to if you're a power lifter. Now, if you're an Olympic lifter, you might need to. So it depends on what your goals are, but even a field athlete doesn't necessarily need to do that. It may not make you any better at football to do the ultra deep squat versus going to parallel. So I wouldn't sweat it. But if you do need to get deeper and it's really an issue for you, work on your hamstring flexibility, work on your quadricep flexibility, stretch those things. Do weighted stretches, do weighted squat stretches. Get your flexibility up. And worst case scenario, get yourself some squatting shoes. That will help quite a bit also. So those are really the things that you're going to have to work on. If you want to squat ultra deep, you might need squatting shoes anyways eventually, but definitely work on that mobility, stretching, get those hamstrings and quadriceps more flexible. And that will hopefully sort your issue out, if it's not just a form problem. But the fast dropping is probably fine as long as you can get the bar path and your booty path down right. All right, next question. What's a good rear delt and shoulder health movement to replace face pulls if one only has access to a barbell? Do them with bands. If you have access to a barbell and you have access to a little money, I'm sure you can come up with $10 or $20 to get yourself a band. I do mine with bands at home. I did mine with bands at a gym, even when I was at a gym that had a cable station, as soon as I had access to bands. Bands are not that expensive. Get bands, do them with bands. Problem solved. You don't need an alternative exercise. Face pulls rock. And there's nothing you can do with a barbell that is going to replicate all of the benefits. So I'm not even going to go there. And so I'm not going to tell you to do rear delt rows. Alright guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.